and I was assigned the mandibular first premolar. An older term for premolars is bicuspid. These tooth numbers are 21 and 28. They typically erupt anywhere from 10 to 12 years old. For this project, I decided to write a book. I hope you enjoy.
All right, let's get started. Mania the mandibular left first premolar. Once upon a time, there was a mandibular left first premolar named Manny. At 10 years old, he moved to a new town and had to start at a new school. He was so excited about being in a new town and making new friends, he couldn't wait to show this new town what he has to offer. Manny decided to go for a walk to check out the new town. The new town he is living in is called Mucosa Springs. It is a very dark and wet town. As he was walking, he noticed some of the townsfolk staring at him. He shrugged it off and thought they were just staring because they have never met him before, and they were just trying to figure out who he was. Manny made it home and got ready for bed. He said his prayers and drifted off to sleep, excited for his big day tomorrow. The next morning, he shot right out of bed, scarfed down breakfast, and got ready for school. So excited for his first day, he practically ran out the door, still putting his pants on. He walked into the school with a big smile on his face, eager to make new friends. But soon he realized that might not be happening anytime soon. Manny felt the world stop spinning as he marched on down the hallway, while everyone laughed at him and said snarky remarks. Short stuff. He's so tiny. He has nothing to offer here. What is he even doing here? What can he even do? He is so small. He's funny looking. He looks like a weird cross between a canine and a molar. Crossbreed. Choking back the tears, he finally made it to his classroom. Manny was still hopeful to make at least one friend. Sitting in class, he can hear the giggles from his classmates as things hit him. They were throwing wadded up paper, erasers, and spitballs at him. Lunchtime comes around and Manny tries to sit with a group of other kids. They immediately get up and leave him. He was defeated and ready to go home. He looked up and saw someone coming his way. He quickly looked down and hung his head low, hoping they were going to leave him alone. The kid sits down with him and introduces himself. Hi, I'm Randy. Manny slowly starts to pick up his head and introduce himself. He realized Randy was a mandibular right first premolar. Although they are exactly the same, there are ways to tell them apart. To tell between the right and left, the mesial buccal slope is shorter than the distal buccal slope. You can't see it right now, but on the mesial surfaces, the CEJ curvature is more occlusal. They get to talking, but Randy can tell Manny was still upset from this morning. Randy asked Manny if he knew what made them so special that others tend to overlook. Manny replied with no. Randy went on about the mandibular first premolars have two cusps and one root. They have a buccal cusp and a lingual cusp. The buccal cusp is large and functional. The lingual cusp is small and non-functional. The buccal cusp has two developmental grooves on it. The lingual has a mesiolingual developmental groove. And the buccal cusp can't be seen, and some of the occlusal characteristics can be seen. On the mesial side, you have a deep root developmental depression, and then you can see the mesiolingual groove. On the occlusal, you can see the central groove. You got the distal buccal triangle groove. You got the distal lingual triangle groove. You got the distal pit, the mesial pit, the mesial buccal triangle groove, the transverse ridge. Because there's two triangle ridges right here. You got the lingual triangle ridge of the lingual cusp and the buccal triangle ridge of the buccal cusp. So with all of them features combined and the shape that we are, we assist the molars in grinding food during mastication and assist the canines in piercing and tearing food. Randy explained to Manny. We also are involved in both aesthetics and speech, Randy added. At this point, Manny is feeling pretty good about himself. He has a smile back on his face and has made a new friend. Lunch ends and they plan to meet up when school lets out. School lets out and Manny and Randy walk home together. Despite the terrible start to the day, Manny is feeling good about himself and is over the moon that he has a new best friend. One thing Manny learned today is that people can be cruel, but how others see you isn't important. How you see yourself means everything. Thank you. The end.